2, 3, we back. Back with a Python exercise called boiled eggs. And this is from Codewars.com. Back in familiar surroundings. Absolutely. Description-wise, you are the greatest chef on earth. Nobody boils eggs like you. Your restaurant is always full of guests who love your boiled eggs. Little leap in reality. But when there is a greater order of boiled eggs, you need some time because you only have one pot for your job. How much time do you need? Let's scroll down, and your task is to implement a function which takes a non-negative integer representing the number of eggs to boil. You must return the time in minutes which it takes to have all the eggs boiled. Yes, so you're going to be given a number of eggs and return the time. So here's the rules. This is really a development of an algorithm. That's what this is going to entail. Like a lot of coding, right? You can put at most 8 eggs into the pot at once, and it takes 5 minutes to boil an egg. We assume that the water is boiling all the time, so no time to heat up. And for simplicity, we also don't consider the time it takes to put the eggs into the pot or get them out of it. So you're going to be given a number of eggs, and we need to determine how long it's going to take to boil those eggs. Now you can only boil 8 at a time, and it takes 5 minutes to boil an egg or a set of eggs. So really the 8 and the 5 are really important in this algorithm development here, because you can do 8 at a time, and that 8 will take 5 minutes to boil. And yeah, really, and of course, no matter how many eggs you have in there, it's going to take 5 minutes to boil. So looking at a few test cases, we have 0 equals 0, of course. If there's no eggs, take no time. 5 is 5. So let's look at this one. 5 eggs, of course, it's less than 8. You can put them all into the same pot at once, and it takes 5 minutes to boil. So after 5 minutes, all those eggs are going to be done. I feel kind of silly talking about eggs. We look at 10. 10 is going to take 10 minutes, where on the first set, you can only put in 8 eggs. So 8 eggs are going to take 5 minutes to boil. And then what you have left over from 8 is 2. So then you put in the next 2. Those 2 are going to take 5 minutes. So we have 5 minutes for the first set of 8, 5 minutes for the set of 2. That takes 10 minutes total. So you kind of see a pattern here where we're going to get, if the set of eggs is larger than 8, we're going to get a set of 8, put it in there for 5 minutes, and then what's left over, we'll put it in for 5 minutes, and then of course you kind of repeat for however many sets of 8 you have. So really, sets of 8 is going to be kind of the grouping of the pattern. So let's dive in to this code, or dive into the creation of this code. All right. So you can have at most maximum 8 eggs per set and boil those for 5 minutes. So what if you get a set like what if you get 64 eggs, 8 times 8? Well, you're going to be boiling 8 at a time, 8 times, and they're going to take 5 minutes each. So really, you just take, I think the answer would be times 5, because it's like 8 times 5. That's going to be the answer. It's going to be 40, because if you have 8 sets of 8, you can put in 8 at a time, and those 8 sets times 5, it's going to be 40. Really, my point in rambling through a simple multiplication problem was to impress upon you, or to bring up the point that if you have a number of eggs that's evenly divisible by 8, then you're gonna do the division times 5. So like if we have 64, which is divisible by 8, we just do 64 divided by 8 times 5, because that's going to give us the answer. Because if we have a number that's evenly divisible by 8, we can just continually put in sets of 8, and there's no left over. So that's it. So we can do it like this. If the number is evenly divisible by 8, we can return the number of eggs divided by 8 and then multiply that by 5. I guess it's going to be, eggs. Yeah, because it's just going to be it's going to be sets of 8. So it's very, very easy. Sets of 8, nothing left over. However many sets of 8 there are, you just multiply that by 5 and you're out of there. So like if we have 24 eggs, we just put in the first set, 5 minutes, second set, 5 minutes, third set, 5 minutes. It's just 5 times 3, because there's 5 minutes, 3 sets, and there you go. There's your answer. So what if there's a remainder? Like if the set of eggs is not divisible by 8, there's just another little piece here where we're going to get the portion that is divisible by 8, if there is one, and multiply it by 5, because that's going to still apply. Like if there's, if you have, let's say, 43 eggs, the 40 is divisible. Wait a minute, is 40 divisible by 8? What am I thinking here? Yeah, 8 times 5 is 40. Yeah, basic multiplication here, folks. Yeah. So yeah, if you have 43, the 40 is divisible by 8, and then there is 3 left over, and you can handle those 3 in a different way. Well, really, any part that's left over is just going to be 5 minutes, because the part left over is going to be less than 8, and any number of eggs takes 5 minutes. So whether you have 3 left over, or 6 left over, or 7, or even 1 left over, it's all going to be 5 minutes. So you just add 5 for any remainder. So my formula for if the number of eggs is not evenly divisible by 8 is simply going to be to take the number that is divisible by 8, get that, and then simply add a 5 on to the end, because it's going to be less than 8, and really any number of eggs takes 5 minutes. We can break this down as what? Let's look at, I'm sure most of you get it, but I'll just kind of put this out there for those of you who are still kind of not with it. Let's say say we have 28 eggs total. Of course, this number is not evenly divisible by 8, but let's get the part that is evenly divisible. So the evenly divisible part, yeah. Having trouble here, folks. All right. The part that is divisible by 8, 28 divided by 8 equals 3. And there's a remainder of, 24. Yeah. Remainder of 4. So the part that is divisible is 3. So that means there's 3 sets. You take those 3 sets times 5, it equals 15. But then there's a remainder 4. For the 4 that's left over, you just add 5 to it, and that's going to give you 20, because that 5 left over is for the 4. Yeah. So there you go, folks. And that is it. That handles everything, because you return for your if, and then for your else, you return if and else is, it's binary. So like, if it's not one, it's the other. So all of my returns are handled. Out freaking standing. That goes. And that goes. Impressive, homies. All right. That's it, folks. That's all, folks. Like Porky Pig says. Got your solution for boiled eggs, Codewars. Take a look, try it out. Do a one-liner if you can. But for me in my house, I am out of here. See y'all later.